jolly good.
Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Clank Zoka, and welcome to another My Thoughts On. Today, I'm going to be talking about the road to El Dorado. Oh God, I'm never going to get the song out of my head. This was requested by Mr. MCL, who, just kind of out of nowhere, just said, "Are you going to do the My Thoughts On to the road to El Dorado on a Discord server?" And I was like, you know what? I was actually thinking about it the other day because I was like, I really want to talk about it because I've never seen it before. But coincidentally, he just brought it up, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll talk about it. I mean, I was going to anyways, but you know, this is the third DreamWorks animated film after their first film, Ants, which I really liked, and then their first 2D animated film, The Prince of Egypt, which I love. And then we've got Road to El Dorado. This came out in the 2000s, and amongst a lot of animated films that came out within that year, The Road to El Dorado apparently bombed at the box office, and critics were more than less impressed with it. More mixed than good or bad. However, kind of like The Iron Giant, minus the bad ratings, this film got the reputation of becoming some like pop culture classic or something in the world of animation. It's like, seriously, it's one of those films, kind of like the first Hotel Transylvania, where it's a film that critics do not like, but people seem to love. And that really got my attention. I thought, really? Huh. If people like it, then how come it bombed? Well, maybe because it didn't make its money back. Oh, and that Chicken Run came out that year, and that was like the biggest animated film of that year. And there's Rugrats in Paris as well, which I don't think did too well. There's Fantasia 2000 as well. But yeah, Chicken Run was big, and then obviously you got Road to El Dorado as well, which didn't do too well, but it's quite interesting really, and this is their second 2D animated film after Prince of Egypt as well. So how can this top Ants and Prince of Egypt? Well, let's have a look. So the film is about these two thieves, Tulio, who's voiced by Kevin Kline, and Miguel, voiced by, kid you not, Sir Kenneth Branagh. They're both thieves who just want gold. However, after running away from Spain from the hands of Cortes, this general voiced by the legendary Jim Cummins, they have to go somewhere else to find the gold. So they get this map, the map to El Dorado. If it's called the Road to El Dorado, they weren't really on the road, really, just on a path. Why couldn't they just call it El Dorado or something like that? It's not. Never mind. Anyways, they go to El Dorado, and they've been mistaken for gods, and now they have to play up their act in order to steal the gold and go home. And also, this young lady who's there named Shell, who's voiced by Rosie Perez, wants in on the deal as well. But something strange is happening there because the Cortes and his army are out looking for them too, and then there's this very twitchy, very strange-looking bloke called Tiskel Khan, who's voiced by Armand Asante, who wants power, and that's not a spoiler. Seriously, when you look at the guy, he looks like the villain. I mean, he is, but you know. Okay, so we've seen this before. Two thieves who enjoy doing what they're doing, and then the other plot, which is they have to come up with something, or they have to go along with what they're doing, even though what they're doing is fake. So, for example, Rango goes into dirt. He pretends to be the sheriff, even though he's not really a hotshot or anything. And then they find out who he is, and that's not really a spoiler because I'm pretty sure we've all seen Rango by now. This film does it a little similarly, but the thing I will give it credit for, and it did surprise me, is that it did it differently. Like, is it predictable? Yeah, but I'll give it credit that it didn't go fully predictable. It did it in a different way. Like, obviously there's going to be the two friends are going to argue at each other after they misheard something, and then it's like, oh, I'm sorry and all that. But then that's quickly resolved as well. So I'll give the film this. They quickly resolve these cliches as differently as they can. And it does have some very entertaining sequences, especially since this is a musical as well. There's lots of fun, big colours in the world of El Dorado. There's some great action, some great scenes where Miguel and Tulio are just exploring around El Dorado as gods. It's really entertaining, and it keeps you just smiling all the way through, and that's really what got me through it that delightfully. It's that fun as well. I mean, obviously, the idea of the film is really nothing special. They go to a new world and they are like heartless thieves or something like that, but then they realise, you know what? It's not all about the gold, it's all about adventure. Not gonna lie, I got pirates like similarities here, and I don't mean the Johnny Depp films. I mean, the Aardman film in a adventure with scientists, because Tulio and I guess Miguel remind me of the pirate captain in a way, because they both only think about gold other than themselves. Only in this case, they do kind of think about each other, but also they do kind of bicker at each other a lot too, as well. So there is that. The only the only the only issue I have with the writing and the story is that although it's all well executed and quite surprising to my surprise, anyways, I will admit when it got to the third act, it was like, yeah, you know exactly where this is going, but also again to the film's credit, they do end it rather soon and also differently as well. And also the whole like, oh, the people are going to find out that they're not gods or anything. But again, the way they execute it, it's like they do it so differently that you understand like why they had to do it in a way. If they just spilled it out, then that's fine. But I'm like, okay, this is different. I like what they're going, like where they're going with this. But when it came to the third act, it was like it's all wrapping up a bit too soon. It did end rather abruptly, but satisfyingly, satisfying. This is probably some very good writing from DreamWorks, even from 2000. It's also the film's very funny. The comedy is very very good. Drama's also it's also nicely done as well. It's very entertaining, pleasing to watch. Some great action, some great delightful moments, some great musical moments. It's a really fun story. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. It doesn't try to be too cliched, even if it is predictable. It tries something new, and I have to applaud them for that, even if it is quite familiar. Animation. Yeah, this was back when 2D animation was kind of like, just dying, and this was when 3D animation was coming in as a new thing as well, with Toy Story and all that as well. And then this was also when Aardman made their first film, so this film, you can tell it's like, yeah, people didn't have that much attention to it, or for it, I suppose. For a film that came out pretty much 20 years ago, and even it doesn't even look 20 years, it looks like it's like 25 years old. It looks good. It still looks really really good, and the 2D animation looks wonderful. I love the designs of all these characters, especially Tulio and Miguel, who, despite the fact that this is a DreamWorks film, I can see why people can mistake this as a Disney film, because the animation is very 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 similar to Disney in a way, especially The Lion King, and not because Tim Rice and Elton John has done the songs for both films, but it does look like something that Disney would do, and I wouldn't be surprised if the animators were from Disney and they just came to work on this. I would not be surprised in the absolute slightest. The backgrounds in the film look wonderful and gorgeous and atmospheric. It has a very adventurous feel to it as well, and there's great movement, great slapstick. It feels like Disney animation, but in a way DreamWorks kind of has their own style to it in a way. Like there's cute little animals, there's lots of big movements. It's really well done, and even the 3D backgrounds for about 50% of the film looks good. However, the other 50% can look a bit obvious. It's like bloody Treasure Planet or I guess Atlantis, the Lost City, where the 3D animation in the background. Oh, and Help I'm a Fish as well. The 2D animation doesn't quite complement the 3D animation in the background. Sometimes they can fit nicely, but at times it can look rather obvious, I guess. I mean, I get why, but I don't know. If this was all just fully 2D, then I would have been fine. But technology, it's understandable. The animation, honestly, if you compare this to DreamWorks, sorry, Disney, I don't think anyone. I mean, unless you knew this was from DreamWorks, people might say this looks like Disney, and yeah, but it's actually DreamWorks. Give them credit for at least trying to make their 2D animation look different in a way. I mean, I can tell a few times it looked like Disney, but most of it was like, yeah, this is definitely a DreamWorksy looking film in 2D. So yeah, I have to give them absolute credit for making this gorgeous and wonderful to look at and full of style. It's just a great looking film. What else do I need to say? Seriously. Characters and acting. I'm not going to lie. I like the two main characters, Tulio and Miguel. I think they're both funny. They have great personalities. They have good chemistry. Their relationship is fun and entertaining. They both work off each other very well. They're both snarky, sarcastic. One's a little bit more focused on the plan and pessimistic. The other one is optimistic and feels like the charmer and the one who wants more adventure. They're both really good main characters. Sure, they can both mess up and they can both be a little bit dim-witted, but they're very entertaining main characters. I think they're probably one of the best animated duos I can probably think of because they are so good. Shell, who is the second main character, I suppose. Well, Tulio, I guess Tulio would be the main character, and Miguel, you could say the second main character. But I think they're both the main character, and then Shell's just the second character. Anyways, besides making people, well, I'm not really going to say because they have to. I mean, I think Shell's a great character too. I think she's also like the two main characters. She's very snarky, very funny, and she's so full of herself as well, and very cheeky. But the way they designed her, it's like, I don't know if this film got controversy or anything, but she's designed in a very sexual way, and I don't know how to feel about that. It's kind of strange. But actually, all three of them are great together, in all honesty. And then you got the chief of El Dorado, who's a good supporting character, in my opinion, for the most part. And you got Taseko, the main villain, Taseko Khan, who, unfortunately, as a villain, he's not that great because he can be very cliched and over the top. But you know, he is entertaining. Whatever you think of these characters, whether they're poorly written or anything, they are very entertaining. And same with Cortez. Well, the thing with Cortez is that he's in the film for like possibly 5 minutes in total, and I don't know, you could have cut him out of the film. It really wouldn't make a difference at all. And then you got the horse, Altifio, who's a pretty good, entertaining horse, although he reminded me a lot of Maximum, or was it Maximus from Tangled, because he's very cartoony and he has he's full of himself, he has personality, even if he can't speak. He's great, honestly. The rest of the characters are they're fine as well. They've got some funny and delightful moments as well, and they do provide good comedy and good support. But what makes these characters also better, in a way, is The voice acting is actually really good, despite the fact they got Kevin Kline and Sir Kenneth Branagh in this, and Rosie Perez in it, and you got Jim Cummings, you got Frank Welker, you got Edward James, Edward James almost as well. You got some very recognisable actors here, and they all do a fantastic job. Kevin Kline, really good. Kenneth Branagh, also really good as well. Rosie Rosie Perez is delightful. Everyone does a really good job, and they really fit their characters, and they get so much energy and so much fun out of their performances. So with pretty much solid characters and great voice acting, they're just as entertaining as you would think. On a side note, the music is legit fantastic. The score is by, I kid you not, Hans Zimmer and John Powell, who would later do the score for Kung Fu Panda 2, and I think they did music for another DreamWorks film. I could be wrong. And the songs by Elton John and Tim Rice are equally as wonderful as the ones from Lion King. So they're quite pleasing to listen to. I'm not going to lie. I'm not. I'm glad I'm watching these DreamWorks films because there are ones that I've seen before, but I don't remember them too well. There are ones that I've seen before as childhood films, but when I watch them, it's like, oh, they hold up, or not really. But then there are ones like this one where it's like, I've never seen it before, but it looks so good. And I wouldn't quite say it's top. I wouldn't say it's like one of the best DreamWorks films, but it's better than their most recent ones. Well, Trolls World Tour, Abominable, Boss Baby, Trolls 1 as well. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. The Road to El Dorado, not quite an animated masterpiece, but a really fun, really entertaining, and just super colourful film. Has a it has a plot that actually flows by quite nicely and mostly contains a few surprises, but keeps itself rather simple, but also kind of unpredictable at times, and it gets a new twist on the cliches. The animation is a joy to look at. It's full of color and wonder, and it's great to see 2D animation. Again, to be fair, the two main characters are fantastic. The rest of the characters are also great as well, and the music, wonderful. And the voice acting is just great. The only problem I have is that the third act can sometimes, the third act, towards the end anyways, it wraps up too quickly, and I will admit, as funny as the film is, it does have a few unfunny moments too. And yeah, it is predictable when the film when they go to when they go to El Dorado. That's when it gets a little bit cliche. But again, they work around it and they make it less cliched and more unexpected in a way, I suppose. I don't really know what rating to give it because I really enjoyed it, but it's like, I don't know. Is it better than the other DreamWorks films? I actually don't know, but oh god. Hmm. Actually, let me get the list up and I will have a look because I want to make sure that it's not above anything that I like or anything. Let me just where is it? Hang on. Oh, here it is. Right. So let's have a look. Right. Just give me 1 minute. Alright, so yeah. I think it's better than Abominable, obviously. I think it's better than Chicken Run, obviously. Megamind, How to Train Your Dragon, all that. It's not quite as good as. Hmm. You know what? I'm going to give it a 9.1 out of 10. The only thing that has it over Ant is a 9, but the only thing this film has over is that the animation's better. But to give Ant's credit, it was their first film, so I will give them a little bit of a leeway. So yeah, yeah, 9.1 out of 10. Really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, that was the road. So yeah, that was the road to El Dorado. What a surprise that was! Like, wow, that was actually really, really, really good. So next up, I'm going to be talking about another DreamWorks film that someone's requested me to do. And what is that film, you may ask? Well, come Friday and you will see. So, if you have seen The Road to El Dorado, what do you think about it? Is it good, bad, decent? Do you want to see it? Let me know below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. And until next time, El Dorado, El Dorado. Seriously, I cannot get the song out of my head. It's that catchy.